Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're diving into the absolutely wild story of Claude Code. You know, this tool that began as just a little side project, and somehow it completely changed the game for building software at one of the world's top AI labs.
Okay, let's just start with this number right here. 150%. I mean, let that sink in. That's the productivity jump per engineer at Anthropic since they started using their own tool, Claude Code. To give you some perspective, a 2% gain at a place like Meta, that's considered a huge deal. This is on a whole different planet.
So the big question is, how? How did this even happen? I mean, we're not talking about some giant top-down project with a huge budget. No, this was a simple little app, the kind that just runs in a text window. So how on earth did that thing become one of the most powerful engineering tools in the world? All right, let's get into it.
Okay, first off, you have to understand the most surprising part of this whole story, and it's this: none of it was planned. Seriously, there was no master plan, no grand vision. Claude Code was, for all intents and purposes, a complete and total accident. So the guy who created it, Boris Cherny, he wasn't trying to change the world. He just wanted to figure out how to use Anthropic's own API. You know, the plumbing that lets programs talk to their big AI models. So what's the easiest way to do that? Well, he built a super simple chat app. That's it. He shared it with his team, just to get some feedback, and then it just went viral.
I mean, the growth was so fast, so explosive, that the CEO of Anthropic, Dario Amodei, he literally asked, "Are you guys forcing engineers to use this?" Because the chart showing who was using it was just a straight vertical line. But nope, no one was forced. It just spread like wildfire, all word of mouth, because it was just that good, even when it was super basic.
But success like this, it's not just pure luck. There was a guiding philosophy behind it, a few really key ideas that honestly are critical for anyone trying to build with AI right now. It really boils down to three core principles. First, and this is a big one, you have to build for the AI model that's coming in 6 months, not the one you have today. You've got to skate to where the puck is going. Second, you need to find what your users are already trying to do, this concept called latent demand, and just make that easier. And third, this is like the golden rule of AI development. It's called the bitter lesson. You never ever bet against the model getting smarter. Let's dig into that latent demand idea for a second, because it's so important. It's really just about paying attention. The team saw engineers typing prompts like, "Hey, make a plan for this, but don't actually write the code yet." See? They were already trying to get the AI to plan things out first. So what did the team do? They just built a button for it. They called it plan mode. They didn't invent some brand new way of working. They just saw what people were struggling to do and made it dead simple. Okay, so when you start thinking like this, it leads to one of the most mind-bending, almost shocking shifts in how we think about software. And it's this: the code you write today, it's basically disposable. Just listen to this quote from the creator himself. He says there is no part of Claude Code that was around 6 months ago. It's just constantly rewritten. I mean, let that sink in. The entire app, constantly rewritten from scratch. Nothing sticks around.
And this slide, man, it just lays out the new reality perfectly. In the past, right, we thought of code as this solid foundation, this permanent asset you build to last for years. Not anymore. Today, it's just temporary scaffolding. It's tech debt the moment you write it. Because why would you spend months building some complex feature when you just know that in a few months the next AI model will be able to do it for you, like instantly.
And look, this isn't just some abstract idea. It is happening right now. Get this, at any given moment, 80% of the Claude Code application is less than 2 months old. 80%! The software is literally rewriting itself almost in real time. So when you have this insane rate of change, it naturally leads to some really big, really provocative questions. Questions about the future of the entire tech industry and maybe even the future of your job. Let's kick this off with a claim from former Google engineer Steve Yeager. It sounds almost unbelievable. He said, an Anthropic engineer today is about 1,000 times more productive than a Google engineer was at Google's peak. 1,000 times. We're not talking about the mythical 10x engineer anymore. This is a 1,000x engineer. A leap that big doesn't just tweak the rules, it throws the whole rulebook out the window.
And the predictions coming from inside Anthropic are just as wild. Remember plan mode, that feature they built because users were already trying to do it? Well, Boris Cherny says it'll probably be obsolete, maybe in a month. Gone. Why? Because the AI is just going to get so smart that it won't even need a separate planning step. It'll just know.
And that right there leads to what might be the biggest, most controversial prediction of all. If the AI is writing the code, planning the features, and even debugging itself, then what exactly is the job of a software engineer? Boris thinks the title itself, the very job title, is going to start to fade away. Maybe it gets replaced by something more general, like a builder, or just a product manager who's really good at telling the AI what to build.
Look, this isn't sci-fi anymore. This isn't some distant future. This one little app, this accident, has pulled back the curtain on a future where code is temporary and job titles are fleeting. And it really leaves us with one massive question, doesn't it? When the AI becomes the builder, when it can handle all the how, what is the role of the human? What's the part that we do that can't be replaced? That's the question we are all going to have to answer, and probably a lot sooner than we think.